What y'all think about it? The book is showing up in a variety of cultures and places in this story, or variety of stories in eternity in their hearts. So we got all kinds of angles unfolding here that indicate that there is a supreme God who moves things in His way, at His time, and across cultures, languages, time and space. He's just got things going on. It's just pretty amazing to see how he's at work, and then to think we can pretty much go through the Christian life going, he doesn't really do much. There's really not going, not. Yeah, I think I'll just go about my life, go fishing. This whole Jesus thing, He died for us. That's nice. Get to go to heaven. It's better than hell. It's going to be boring. I don't really look forward to it. Maybe I'll see some people I know. Really not. It's just, he doesn't really help me with my daily life much. He doesn't really change anything. If he put the right politicians in, it would all be better. And since he doesn't do that, then I don't know what good is he. So we don't give it a lot of thought, don't give it a lot of energy. And here is God Almighty moving in these cultures across time, saying the most important thing is to get this book to them because it's the story of how they can have a relationship with Him. And to them, as you read these stories, you go, wow, that was so important. Once they found out somebody had a book, they were all in. Somebody translated the book for us. And people leave dust on them, flip through them, say, oh, well, I read it once. That's good enough. Ain't got nothing else to tell me. And here we got these stories. Incredible stories. Got the Naga people, 24 tribes of India's Naga race. 1 million people at the time this came out, already equipped with a clear concept of a deity of highly personal character associated with the sky more than the earth, who stood above all others. And you go, now what? These guys, this is amazing. And that they found out about the one true God without having lots and lots of missionaries coming through the years. It was in their culture. It's part of their story. So anyway, I find these just incredible. And these things they didn't take good that group, the Nagas, didn't take good care of the book they had, though, because it was made of Indian skin, or animal skins, and the dogs ate them. It's a bummer. That's the same one they use in school to say their homework went away. That's been around a while. Let's see.
Let the pony lead him to that well.
Yeah.
Look in the well, there's no water, but there's a person.
Needed to be there for the person.
Pony. He's led him to the right place.
God is at work. He's moving people and animals around at the appropriate time. Going, back and forth. This is on 91, but this is on the negative side of this thing. The British they're taken over India as part of their empire, And so to control the Naga people, they introduced opium smoking. Remember that little statement? So that they could weaken the Naga military. I go, wow. What's happened in our country? And who introduced that? And it's been here a while, but that just keeps coming in. The enemy, the unseen enemy, says that's a way I can control people. It's actually in that list in Galatians 5 when it's dealing with witchcraft or dealing with all those things. The word is pharmakeia because it's the drug side of it, the drug-induced. How can you control people aspect? And so the enemy knows it'll work. Mexico knows it'll work. They're sending all kinds of things our way. So you just go, wow, other cultures know that the way to win America, to weaken America is, let's just keep sending this. And Americans go, wow, yeah. Even the celebrities, bring the good Coke in. Just keeps it coming. But when I saw that, I thought, yeah, there you go. That's the enemy fighting against it. And then God's at work. Here's the book. You had the book. Here's the culture. He's laying the groundwork. People have a chance to hear. And he'll even use ponies and move them from place to place. And just knowing a time to that God is giving them light. And they want the light. They're willing to walk and struggle and go find it. The 1817, this is on page 92. The American Baptist missionary Adoniram Judson, he shows up in Rangoon, Burma. So in 1817, Judson starts this thing off. That guy is the first American missionary. So that began the American missionary movement. That doesn't say all that, but that's where he fits in the picture. So foreign missions, sending, doing that kind of thing. It started the second Great Awakening. The first Great Awakening sort of led into the independence. So the Declaration of Independence, the thinking that went into the Constitution, all of that is wrapped around and influenced by what happened in the first Great Awakening, and that's the people coming to know Jesus and getting into the scriptures and following that truth, and it just swept across the Northeast, which is where the colonies were. And so that affected them. So this is still the second Great Awakening, but it's broader. It's in Kentucky, because people have now moved on the other side of the Appalachians, and it moves across the Northeast again, and then the mission movement, and he's part of it, goes in 1817 to Burma, but it's 1819, 1820 that Union Mission down the road here that was a foreign mission at the time, and that was also part of the Second Great Awakening. So this is a movement that's happening, but he's the first. So just give him credit for, and how can you forget Adoniram? I mean, you just got to think, what do you call that guy, for short? What's his mom call him? Add. Yeah, and subtract. I can do both. I don't know. No. Multiply. All right. But this guy's brilliant. I mean, he gets there and figures out how to do languages. It's just, he really does it. He does an incredible job. So tell me about what grabbed you from some of that.
That they're all waiting for the book to return to them.
Waiting for the book to return. Yeah.
And that one person didn't say he'd be back. He never came back. So 30 years later, somebody else came through with the book, and it was in there. So they could, and there. It was 30 years later that book came back around to them.
And they're ready for it. corporation. He picked the right name for this and turned it in their hearts. Yeah.
And Myram also didn't give up, even though he was bummed, he just kept at it. So what was it, 7 years before he even got the first convert? But I love it that he just had purpose. He knew this is what God wanted him to do, and he stuck with it. It had to be difficult and lonely. But then when you hear of all those missionaries who came to work with him, he was key.
Yeah.
In all of that, even though they're the ones that got to really bring in the harvest of what, it's a pretty great story about even him.
Just him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just him.
Yeah. He hung in there. Brilliant.
Learning the language, and it's hard enough to pronounce the names. And then to print out a book.
Absolutely.
In their language, it's.
Yeah. Get the printing press, get the
Printing,
stuff to be able to do that. And you know, he was just a rich guy, so he had plenty of money to do all this and live in a different culture. And, you know, he's got to rely on the Lord. He's got to figure out ways to what's he going to eat. You know, it's just weird when you're trying to figure out what would be the food of choice. What would we want to eat? How many people ate when Gracie came? She made some food. Anybody eat? Ate some Indian food? Didn't they? What'd you think? Tastes just like ours?
No,
Had a little bit to it. After a little bit, you notice they
and
didn't.
she backed it off for us.
Yeah, she lightened it up.
I mean, our food must seem so bland to her,
Yeah.
tasteless.
So to do the flipping of cultures, she didn't try yours. Just saying. Nope. Because that's also why she brings her own stuff often. Because they never ate out. If you grew up in a family that was very tight on money, you didn't either when you were growing up. They have 25 orphans they gotta feed. They don't eat anybody else's food. Mama makes it. And Gracie helped because she was the oldest. So, but you just think, okay, that's a culture in Southwest Asia, and you tried some of her food. So now you're a guy from Northeast America, and you're going to go to where these guys are, Bombay. Well, no, this is Myanmar. This is Burma, so this is now Myanmar. And you're going to go try something. You don't know what to eat. Is it monkey brains? What do you got here? What did you put on my plate? And it's wrapped in a leaf. You don't have forks. I mean, the spices are different. Your stomach's all upset. Or maybe not. You know, maybe he just loved all that. But you just go, I'm going to take my chances. I'm just going to go. I don't know if there would be water or soap or clothes or I don't know. Just go. I'm going to go. Have you thought about that when it comes to, you know, the Lord may have something for me to do and wants me to do something different and go, well, is it going to have air conditioning? Because, you know, yeah, these guys are amazing. Their willingness to go do what they're doing is so cool. This one guy, Kotambayu, that guy, he only killed 30 people, he thought, in his former career, but now he wants to, you know, tell people about Jesus. He's a good. Soaked it up, yeah.
And
He was.
really gave his life for it. He only lived 3 more years, isn't that what it said? And he died from working so hard
So
at getting
hard.
this out to everybody he could.
Yeah. So cool.
Listen to me, that's crazy talk, but that's how it should be.
It is crazy talk.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah, all he was waiting for is to get baptized. When that guy baptized, he set out immediately. Go, wow. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So when you say Karen after this class, you go, well, that's different than the one we've been hearing in the media. This Karen is pretty cool. So.
Yeah, I went to look for that book, The Karen of
There's, it's gonna be on page 403 in Google, way down the line. Yeah, it really is cool, all these things that they're doing. Let's see.
It was a little disheartening to me that so many missionaries have gone to be missionaries and have missed that the cultures there already had a concept of the supreme God.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had just taken the time to learn the culture and to learn the language, which is difficult, they might have seen more converts. And we tend to get so caught up in our tradition and what we think it should look like and what the food should taste like and how we think that we should worship. And like this one dude was talking, and that can't be a church because it's a thatched roof. Yeah, I think it could be a church.
Could
but
be.
he totally missed everything.
Yeah.
And the people missed out. And it's all God's timing too, so there's that, but it was just a little sad to me that these people missed out on centuries of knowing God because missionaries were not willing to look and see.
So true.
And they may have just, even Adoniram missed it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he didn't know that language, so they were
Right,
walking
so he-
by.
he was, I think what you said is the key, the timing, God's timing. And I think that, I agree with her, often missionaries get it wrong, that they even go is
Yeah.
better than anything I've done. Even if they get it wrong, I'm just like, wow, they still left everything they knew to go. And many of them did get it wrong, but I think, again, the timing of God, I don't think a person is ever lost because a missionary blew it. I think it's God's timing. He is going to,
Yeah.
is that right? Accomplish.
Yeah, let's do this. So Romans 1:18, we got the whole. He is making himself known. And, as Paul says, no one has an excuse because he's made himself known in creation, he's made himself known internally. That's Romans chapter 2 gets into that more deeply. You get this whole thing that's laid out. So people have, and all these people, and they're waiting for him. Did I put the I in there? No. They're waiting for him, but it's the more that they were missing out on. So they know that there's one true God. They don't know. In some cases, as we've read this, we go, and he has a son. We know that. That's included. Sometimes they don't have that. There's one true God. And then they treat him, as you've gone through this, some of them sacrifice some of them, some to him, some don't. He doesn't have an idol because he's the one true supreme God, so they treat him differently. They respect him in ways they don't, even if they do have lesser gods, they treat him differently. This is the part that gets lost. That would be, and the getting hung up on our traditions and style of worship and style of clothes and culture becomes the main factors in whether people are saved. So for some, depending on what they're coming from, they go overseas and they're sharing with a culture that's different. The thing that they have to do is they have to get those people to dress like them, talk like them, sing the songs like them. Then they can, and talk, they have to have the same key words. Then they can be saved. So that's what we're waiting for. Often when we take this if you're going to get, you can't count them as Baptists unless they do the Baptist thing. You can't count them as Catholics unless they do the Baptist thing. You can't count them, whatever it is. And we do the same thing here. So if somebody's part of the Church of Christ and you don't really know much about it, you just go, well, I don't even know if they're saved. Well, they don't do it like us. Their style and culture. Don't know if they're saved. We do it to people all around us. And you hear about, without ever finding out, what do they think of the one true God? What are they missing? So I'd say this would be, I would put the umbrella over 98% of the churches. They're missing the more. I don't know that when somebody knows about Abraham and they're following him, the Jewish people. So you go to Israel and you hear that's been their thing. But they hear about Jesus and they go, oh, bam, he's the more. Did you know that Jesus sent the Holy Spirit? What? And you can have the Holy Spirit. Bam, more. Did you know that God speaks today and you can hear him? You can have a conversation with him. I don't mean just talking to him. I mean he talks to you. Bam, more. What do we do? Well, you just have this, and it's really our publishing house and our way of doing it. And if you fit into this, then you're a Mennonite, you're an Amish, you're a Baptist, you're a Presbyterian, you're a something that fits this. And we've done the same thing. Yeah. And he has so much more. He's making himself known. So yeah, I think those guys already knew the Lord. I don't think there's any question that we won't see them in eternity. All of these tribes, these people. What they didn't have was they didn't have the book that would give them more information. And people who are hungry want to eat. And they want. So guess what they do with the book? Americans, Cambodians, Chinese, anywhere, anytime, any place. If they're hungry, they want more. Peter says, 1 Peter says, be like newborn babes, desiring, deeply desiring the Word of God. Be hungry. Have more. But I got responsibilities. I'm busy. I got stuff. I just feel God didn't come through for me on this other thing. Be hungry. There's more. And he's waiting to the same timing he's using with these guys, he's using with us. And he wants to bring that into our day, into our setting, into our lives, into our families. We just need to follow the pony. He's got them ready for us. Because it's about more. And he wants them to have the book so that they can know that there's more. And then they find out, there's even more. There's the Spirit. Well, they've already had the Spirit. The Spirit's been showing up in dreams and visions and prophecies through these people who all they know is this. And yet he's already talked to them for centuries. And some of those one of them was 1600, that lady. And anyway, it's all pointing to more. And then these guys show up hungry. Or at least these stories we're reading, these guys are like, bring it. And we're so full in America, churches, like, I need entertainment. You need to crank it up on that worship. I need that band to crank it up so I can feel it, because I don't feel that. But you get that drum set going, by golly, I'm feeling it. And he said, be hungry for the word. And he's got more. Yeah, there's some stuff going on.
There was
and the gentleman said that, they knew they were following the evil spirits, and so they wore that bracelet, and they wouldn't take it off, and I mean, this was their tradition, because they knew that was what the control they were under, or not control they were under, but what they were being influenced by. And then he knew, this is the thing that will free us from that. I thought, again, somehow that was community, I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing. We don't even know it as Americans, that we are tied to some evil things, and the Lord can, I just thought that was so incredibly symbolic, and that they did that and knew
But they
it
knew it.
before they knew Christ himself, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just,
Yeah, so true. And then they're making sacrifices to the lesser gods or the demons, whoever is running the show, knowing that the one true God's over here, but he doesn't attack them or treat them badly. So we're okay with him. It's these guys who are trying to keep them. We got to sacrifice a goat and keep them over there. Yeah.
Also, that what you were talking about, except it was the, on my book on the bottom page of 87, it's the messenger of, I can't pronounce the name, may cut these deals from the wrist.
yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that just
I
something?
love it. Yeah, they're getting the information. God is getting to them. And he has since they started. They're carrying these stories. This also goes back to, because they're carrying these similar stories all around the world, you're going, wow, it's like they had one single source, like they're all the children of Noah and those boys. You go, this goes all the way back to the flood when they came out of the boat. And yeah, because they're telling the same stories wherever they go. And they know there's one true God. That's what their great-great-great-grandparents told them. That it just, and it's not just them telling, the Spirit is also speaking to them, and God is making himself known wherever they are. Yeah, these are good.
And how they almost kidnapped, basically, that one guy, missionary and his group.
They're serious. Yeah, the Buddhists couldn't convert the Karen, but Christianity comes along and boom. That's pretty cool.
And yet I love it, it did make the Buddhists want it, what's going on? Why
Yeah.
is this?
Why
That's
is
really-
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why is that?
Yeah. It's true, and just waiting for that reality. Oh yeah, there's that one. How about the spirits of the yellow leaves? Did you try that one, David? That one's on page 99. That'd be a cool book to try. It doesn't have Karen in it. Just
I might be able to find that one.
spirits, though. Who knows what the first few pages in Google would be, but there you go. I like that he put some of these old books in here so you can kind of look them up.
The Karen Apostle is available on Gutenberg Press, so it's a free ebook out there.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like that. Yeah, Gutenberg puts out a bunch of stuff, that old books. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that one guy was just a negative voice. He was not happy about what was going on. Bert Natzik.
Mm.
The German guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bert Natz. Just the name is enough to let you know he's pretty negative. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was not just Westerners that brought the message. I mean, they initially brought it, the Karens then went out and took that message to the rest of their people and then beyond.
Yeah. The Buddhists and Muslims all around where they live. Yeah. That overflow that the Lord does, they couldn't help it. They just had to go. To get missionaries from Americans, it's typically, you got to guilt them enough. And then, okay, I should probably go. Or you sell a really good trip. That works for some. Look where we're going to, exotic place. And I need to raise money to go to the exotic place. Okay. But the whole idea of, I just want to go make Jesus known. That is, yeah, that's awesome. When Wycliffe Bible translators, some of the missions were starting, right after World War II, there's another just surge of mission work. Because military people had been around the world and they go, man, gospel's we need to get this out there. We ran into people who didn't know about this, so we're going to get going. So a bunch of that started. Some of the early interviews, or the earliest interviews for missionaries was happening at Bacone College. Anybody know where that is? All the way down to Muskogee. Here, once again, we are the center of the mission universe. And you go, but we're in Oklahoma. Yeah. Bacone becomes the place where they're interviewing. So these potential missionary people come in, and they're being interviewed to see if they can handle it and what their hearts are for this. And so the questions, Dawson Trotman from the Navigators was one of the guys doing the interviewing. So it's in his book that I got this info. But when they were coming through, they would ask them, because they wanted to go translate in Africa or in Jaya, wherever, around the world. They asked them, so have you been going out where you live? How many people have you talked to about the Lord? What have you presented in your neighborhood? What have you gone across the street? Have you? And the majority of these people, no. So why would you want to go across the world? And so they just kind of went with the Gideon approach and go, well, if you're not going to do it here, we're not sure you're going to do it there. And you just raise money to go on an exotic trip. Next. If you're really doing it, if that's your heart, your overflow, it's going to be like the Karen people. You're going to share. And because you care, you can't not talk about what God has done and is doing, and so exciting. So anyway, it generates that. And that's the more that we get closer to Him, the more we want to share. Doesn't mean that the opportunities are always there. We may have the Adoniram Judson 7 years or 70 years of ain't nobody listening, but we're still faithful to do what He told us to do. And it's still truth running through us.
I like that even though he hardly ever got any converts, and it was the ones that came after him, he used the time to translate the Bible into their language, and so that was what other missionaries could use to, to make harvest.
Yeah.
So
Without His work, they had nothing to work with.
right,
Yeah, you're right.
he didn't waste that time.
No. And there was no Wycliffe Bible translator school of summer linguistics to train you in how to do it. And no computers. It just, yeah. And again, who raised the money so he could have the free time to go study, buy pens or make quills, however he did it? Where did that come from? And yet, God did an amazing thing. 1817, he's doing this stuff. It's pretty amazing. We've got, yeah, and here we are in our day getting to do, so this is Myanmar. I mean, we're talking about the area around Burma, Myanmar. So they are now one of the hotbeds of Christian persecution. Difficult for local workers or missionaries coming in to get the word out, to share the gospel. And they didn't specify Karen people or groups, but it's a Buddhist, it has a different culture. So it's been difficult for them. And that's modern day. I mean, just think about, man, it's still a tough area. So with our other studies, are there any unseen princes and powers that may have something to do with holding on to that area that make it difficult? Because these guys are taking off like a shot, getting the gospel out there, carrying the book with them, doing what they can. And that's in the 1800s. You'd think a couple hundred years, we got this thing down. And yet now it's difficult all over again. So, culture. Okay, what else?
Vincent Young was a young person where one bought the pony and saddled the race to go, and he grew up learning the language of. He went back into the mountains where the other people were afraid to go or would not go, and he went there. So this guy came to the mission where he was at, and he was a little boy.
Yeah.
And thanks to the well, when the well wasn't finished yet, they were still digging on the well. And he went back several times into that people went off. It was off the I call off the main trail. He went, and she was very, very knowledgeable of the language. He was able to translate it, some of the New Testament.
The timing was just right. The guy with skills, yeah. We need those guys. And God sends them at the right time. Yeah. Vincent Young.
Also mentions there towards the end, talking about, even in scripture, the stories of, we don't know how these people knew God, and he said, not even Melchizedek, but then he says, even Abraham was probably just such a person when Yahweh first spoke to him in Ur of the Chaldees.
Yeah.
I mean, even him, he probably heard from God himself. And that's how he came to know the one true God. That's just mind-blowing to people like us who have the word, we have people telling us and explaining, and the gospel's all around us.
Now, where's Uz at?
The Uz at?
Yeah, where's that land at, where Abraham was at?
Oh.
No one even knows.
I thought you were, you're sitting right here.
Where's us
Well,
at?
where's us at? Whoa. Somebody needs to drink some coffee or something. Oh, that.
God fear.
I gotcha.
It goes on there towards that, in there, Michelle. How do you say that name? Yeah.
There's,
Blessed Abraham and where he was at. I mean, they didn't know how he come about.
right. Yeah.
It'll be unending. It always will be.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
It's so cool.
such a great representative of that unknown, mysterious part of all of this that God wraps in to indicate there are more. It's not just Abraham who knows the one true God. Melchizedek knows, and Abraham knows he knows. That's why he gives them the 10%, and you're going, oh my gosh, there are things going on here that go beyond our typical style and culture. Because we get locked into this when you think that's the end of it. I mean, we pretty much got this. You go, we really don't. There's just a whole lot more going on. And he's revealing himself. Yeah, that's cool. And most of the family of Abraham were, from the cultural findings in the area, were worshiping the moon. So stepping out of that kind of family dynamic and going, the one true God actually, got a hold of me and said, come move to a country, leave those guys, obviously, leave those guys, come to a place that I will show you. So he's speaking those words. This isn't like this vague, I'm feeling something in my stomach, and I don't think it's a bad burrito. I really think it's God. No, he's hearing those words, leave this country, go follow me, we're going to go. But I'm not telling you where it is. You don't get it on your GPS. You don't get a map. You don't know if you're going to like the food there. You don't know what the climate will be. All the answers we'd have to have before we'd make a trip. He just says, come with me. Just come.
Like our move.
Pretty much like our move. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, mentioned more than one time, they're always waiting for the white face to come to them.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I don't know if I got the point, but the only comes to the white thing. But the one waiting, they're predicting, before the prediction of the coming of the white-faced teacher.
Yeah. I love that. Because these brown faces that so many of these, they're going, yeah, why would we have to? Some of them didn't know what a white-faced person looked like anyway, and then other ones are going, we don't much care for them, and then yet those are the guys who are going to come and bring us this. That is so cool. And that's all. That was the center of the mission movement at that point, out of Europe and America. So it really does have, it kind of fell on us to do it. And the mission movement started in the late 1700s in Europe, so this thing isn't really that old. It kind of got stuck for a while, and then it reinvigorated, thankfully. That doesn't mean God bailed on him, because he always makes himself known. But it is cool.
Just like that book of Job is so awesome. And I didn't realize he wasn't an Israelite,
Yeah.
It was before his chosen people. There was
That's right.
Job. And his wife was horrible with what all he went through, and it was just so awesome.
Yeah, just curse God and die, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, thanks, Edna. Woof. Yeah. But God was making himself known to him.
Yeah.
And the unseen realm knew about him, all sides. It's like, yeah, just like they do us. Ugh. You're wearing a little target on your back, in case you didn't know. Oh, boy. But yeah, this is cool. All these different things that are happening. And just in the time frame of when these missionaries went out, looking at missions today, that's why I was telling you about Myanmar. The battle is still on. We're still battling those beings. New people are being born, of course. But you'd think we would have this down. If all these missionaries go out, we had the first, second Great Awakening in America, you'd think, man, we'd all be Christian. Here we are. Nope, because there's a battle going on. And that would be the other part of the more that gets skipped in our typical style and culture in Western American Christianity. We don't want to talk about that much. Spiritual warfare is that they got my order wrong at McDonald's. And we kind of missed no, there's some serious stuff going on. Lives are at stake. and we get to be part of it. I mean, part of the army that's fighting in this thing for people's lives, so that they can have more. Because he's going to make himself known. So again, nobody has an excuse for not knowing that there's one true God. But it can sure help if there are people living it out, modeling it, praying for them, battling those spirits, those forces. Help them find the more. That's us. We get to do that. Let's pray. We've got some other things we'll do. Father, thank you for this time. Thanks for watching over us and even directing us into these things where we can discover more about you, more about what you're doing, more about the kingdom, more about how you worked in the lives of other people. Thank you for people who are willing to give their lives to tell others about you, to help others know more, and to invest in the things that last in the kingdom. And thank you for our time together this morning.